Welcome to the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnny Maggs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Coming to you live from the Uncle Steve Shake Studios in Center Bonstead, New Hampshire. It's the podcast where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics that you normally talk around the pit. Thank you all for tuning in as always. I appreciate you. And we have an exciting episode for you this week. We're going to talk everything World Food Championship. So let's get down to it. Tonight's episode brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. Wow, what can I say, guys? Uncle Steve, amazing guy. True passion for what he does. 18 amazing flavors. Also, don't forget the sauce with no name. Steve wears all the hats. He's mixing, he's bottling, he's shipping, he's answering the phone calls, he's answering the emails. Any questions you have, he does everything in his power to get you on the right path for whatever flavor profile you're looking for. From the original to the Gator Shake, the competition line, the Mi Amigo, Magic Ribs, Sweet Dessert Shake, he's got it all covered. Check him out at UncleStevesShake.com and follow along on Facebook at Uncle Steve's Shake Nation for all the latest and greatest shake news. Uncle Steve Shake, shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Joe's Meat Market, the diamond of Royce City, Texas. Gabriel and his crew do an incredible job. Unbelievable protein selection. You need a specific cut, Gabriel's got you. If you're looking for something that Gabriel might not carry, he'll work with you to get it, to get what you're looking for done. Fresh produce brought in daily. For all us comp guys and backyarders, got us covered too. Lines of rubs, sausage, smoky wood products, splits, chunks, chips, pellets, charcoal. He's got it all. While you're there, you feeling a little hungry? He's got you covered there too. Gabriel's mom's behind the counter, whipping up some of the freshest, authentic Mexican cuisine out there. So grab a plate, sit down, talk passion with the boys that are there, and make a new lifelong friend through the world of barbecue and grilling. So check them out, Joe's Meat Market, Royce City, Texas. Tell them I sent you. And remember, Joe's Meat Market for the win. Also brought to you by the Champions Barbecue Alliance. Big Dog Sauce Company and Matt's Backyard Barbecue present the New England CBA Triple Crown, bringing Texas and New England together for the ultimate barbecue showdown, a 3-state high-stakes competition across Vermont, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. Do you have what it takes to dominate the Champions Barbecue Alliance's 4-meat competition? Chicken, ribs, pork, and brisket, and claim the Triple Crown? How about showing your skills in some epic jackpots, including dessert, chef's choice, sausage, and steak? Calling all young pitmasters. The Kids Q jackpots give the next generation of barbecue legends a chance to show off their skills. Join the fiercest pitmasters as they fire up the smokers, lay down the rubs, and showcase their best. 3 states, 3 epic showdowns, 1 champion. These sponsors are bringing the heat with prizes, including a guaranteed $10,000 payout for the Vermont competition and some unique trophies. Whether you're competing or coming to judge the feast, don't miss this barbecue lover's paradise. I'm excited 2 weeks from 2 weeks, I wish. 2 months from the day it is the Triple Crown kickoff. So check that out. Let's see. I know Daddy Dutch is in here. Matt Pereira, Tom's Food Factory. What's happening, brother? There we go. Bunch of me in there chatting with the boys. Judge Webb, what's happening? Larry Vaughn, afternoon from South Jersey. What's up, brother? Mad Max calling you out, brother. Carlos Calzada, smoking Los. Stay tuned, boys and girls, because there is an announcement coming down the line within the next day or two. Chris Rosinski, what's up, brother? Pat Cullen, what's happening? Dan Kimball, 16 mesh. Heidi, what's happening? All right, Carlos spilled it. Can't wait to cook up there with you guys. Carlos and I are teaming up on the Triple Crown, spreading that barbecue love. Speaking of barbecue love, NBL, what's up, brother? Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's get into it. You've all heard about the World Food Championships, and I know Matt actually has cooked in the World Food Championships on the barbecue side, and Dan Kimball and his wife Kristen had cooked on the dessert side. So we have a few veterans of the World Food Championships joining us tonight, but we are also joined by the founder, Mr. Mike McCloud. Mike, what's up, brother?
Hey, Johnny, how are you? Loved all that call out of the people listening. That was fantastic to hear all those names. I feel like I got invited to some kind of crazy private party though here.
Oh, you got the crazy pot, right? Yeah. But no, it's these are the ones that make it happen every time. Craig McPherson.
I felt like I needed a nickname. I was trying to make up a nickname while you're going through all that stuff just to fit in.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So Mike, first off, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. We've been trying this since I believe before World Foods last year, so probably end of October, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Technology kept us from working it out for some reason, so hopefully we'll get through it tonight.
We'll get through. We're off to a good start. Knock on anything I can at this point. But like I said, Mike, thank you for joining me. Now, please tell everybody, who you are, what you do, your background originally, and then into how it led to founding the World Food Championships.
So I'm going to skip all of the crazy adolescent stuff and just go to the good stuff. We got invited to participate in barbecue in 2006 by the Kansas City Barbecue Society to bid on becoming their marketing firm, their agency of record. And we were able to edge out some other fantastic agencies in the bidding process. And it was primarily because we looked at barbecue as a kind of a nascent platform that really hadn't really hit its NASCAR heyday yet, and B, we wanted to be a partner to KCBS. We wanted to actually put some results in the bank for them and partner up with them on some new marketing strategies that we felt like would pay dividends based on their mission to educate and promote barbecue. So long story short, we spent 12 years as the agency of record for KCBS. And during that time, fell in love with competition food, specifically barbecue and chili. And of course, watched steak come to life in that process too.
Yeah.
And we got to thinking one day that these barbecue teams are so talented in so many genres of food, even dessert on a pit, which kind of blew my mind when I first saw that happening. that they kind of deserve their own Super Bowl. And I know there's a lot of great world-class barbecue events out there. We work with quite a few of them still behind the scenes. But I felt like there were other genres that just weren't as mature as barbecue was and chili. So we decided to give them a platform and try to create a level playing field and create a championship that had multi-dimensional challenges, multi-genre challenges with the same kind of rules and approach from judges. So that forced us into creating our own judging rubric and methodology. And we called that the EAT methodology because everything we touch, we try to market. So EAT stood for execution, appearance, and taste. And we just took a flyer out on this thing that we call the World Food Championships. We started it in 2012, partnered with, got Caesars to partner with us in Las Vegas, and had over 200 teams come out for the very first event, even though they didn't really know us that well at the time. And we've never looked back. In fact, the rest of the long story short is that I divested by 3 or 4 years into that. I divested from all my other enterprises and decided to put all my eggs in this basket that we now call Food Sport and World Food Championships. So that's the short history of a long 15, 16-year run.
Nice. Now, if I'm not mistaken, was it Walmart or the Sam's Club?
So they're sister companies. We started working with Sam's Club through our efforts at KCBS. We created, programmed, operated, and delivered the first National Barbecue series and tour back in 2010. We started that with Sam's Club and took a tour around the country, had 30 events, and then one national. There was a $500,000 prize purse established for that. And we ran that for 7 years for Sam's Club. And it was kind of the sponsorship heard around the world. They and suppliers that were in the protein category and the food category spent millions of dollars promoting barbecue and created a fantastic opportunity for teams that were great at what they were doing, but also new teams that were trying to get great at what we all love now about barbecue. So it was an incredible run. So we got close with Sam's Club, and during that process, one of the key executives of Walmart called me in and basically said, "I see what you're doing there with Sam's, and we don't want to steal that from little brother. So what can you do for us?" And that's when we presented the World Food Championships as a platform for Walmart, and they got behind it big time. And for about 3 or 4 years, up until COVID hit, and then even 1 year after COVID, they were really supporting World Food Championships. And then one of our great champions at Walmart basically changed position and went over to Sam's Club and took us with him over to Sam's Club. So Sam's Club is our official retailer, but of course Walmart is the same, and we love both of them.
Oh yeah. I can remember the Sam's Club series, and it was huge. It really was huge, and it was an incredible job. And Chris, Eastwind Farms, Gabriel, Joe's Meat Market. What's up, Gabriel? Then here's Miss Kristen Kimball herself. Had the incredible opportunity to participate in the 2023 Dessert Championship, and would love to see more opportunities for us in the Northeast to get back in the World Food Championships. Would love to promote this more and really push it forward here. So clearly, you guys, leave an impression on the cooks who participate. Now,
Tell her I appreciate that comment, by the way. We are forging some new relationships that I think will bring more WFC formatted contests to other parts of the country. We've been very selective about who we partner with and who we allow to basically run a regional or a state qualifier, primarily because we've had our hands full in building the championship. And we didn't want to get too sidetracked by having 20, 30, 40 contests out there in addition to the big one that we do every year, because we have to get that one right as best we can. But we just formulated and created a great partnership with the American Chef Federation, Culinary ACF. I'll get it right. American Chefs Federation, I think is right. They're going to, Chris Tanner is going to smack me upside the head if he sees this. But yeah, we just formed a great relationship with them, and they are going to help us roll out more challenges that are very niche oriented, dessert, gastronomy, you name it, pizza, etc., and do it in ACF chapters throughout the country. So 2026 should be a really big a blowout year for us as we build out the qualifier opportunities in more regions than we have up to this point.
Interesting. That's awesome. So let's get to the qualifiers. Now, obviously, we are well aware of, I guess, most of the categories of the events, and there's barbecue, dessert, seafood, sandwich,
burger,
live fire, yeah.
And probably not yours or my favorite, but vegetarian.
Okay.
Noodle, and we're adding chili back this year. We're bringing the chili championship back into the mix. And there's a few other, I think dessert. Did you say dessert?
Yep.
So we've got 10 categories now. We had 12. We did 12 last year. We are trying to get a little bit tighter so that we can run a little bit more complicated tournament that's going to give birth to a redemption round, a second chance tournament within the tournament. So we dropped a couple categories this year going into October. So we'll be 10 strong this year.
Okay.
10 plus one if you consider chili.
Okay. So obviously the barbecue and everything, and you get participate. Excuse me.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, you need to win the elusive golden ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and this is my lack of knowledge, but we'll take sandwich for instance. Are there sandwich competitions that I'm not aware about, or can you, if obviously most of us know the golden ticket through the SCA, the State Cook-Off Association.
Right.
If you win a golden ticket, do you have a choice? I'd like to cook in the sandwich, or I'd like to cook in the seafood for that matter. Or is there specific areas that are attached to the golden ticket?
So we start out with a specific category that if you're doing a sandwich slam somewhere, like what we will do with Memphis in May, or at the Barrett Jackson Scottsdale Auto Auction, or Ivy Tech culinary challenges. If you win sandwich in one of those qualifiers, you're supposed to go into the sandwich category. But if it has closed, and about four or five of our categories have already closed for this year because we've had too many. Well, we just filled up with
Okay.
registrants, then you get a chance to choose another category. So you just look at what's left, and if you think you can make it work in dessert or live fire, or something, etc., one of the other categories, then you can go into one of those other categories as long as you won a golden ticket somewhere.
Okay. Now, once you're there at the world, I'm getting ahead of myself. Nah, the hell with it. I can always rewind. So once you're there, how is everything structured? I know they are teams involved, and like I know the kitchen setups. You're allowed, I believe, a 3-person team. You can have more team members, but it can be not exceed 3 in the kitchen area at one time. Correct?
Yeah. We don't care what the size of your team is, but only 3 can be cooking or in the kitchen arena at any given time. So we use a tap in, tap out rule, and we have chefferees who are monitoring that situation and making sure that no one cheats the system and no one has a 4th person in the kitchen arena, kitchenette doing something extra, having an extra set of hands there. So it's kind of a team dynamics, team management process that we use. It's also a safety issue. We only have about an 8x10 space, and we're trying to put 40 teams on the field of play at any given time, 20 per category, but we could be running 2 simultaneous categories because our arena, which is the largest I'm aware of in food sport, has 40 complete kitchenettes so that we can be running multiple categories at the same time.
Nice. Now, what does it entail to, I suppose, is it the term team up with World Foods, or how would someone go? Okay, I'll throw this out just because it's fresh in my memory. Matt Pereira, he is our local promoter for the CBA. He has a bunch of 6 events on the calendar for this year. If he would want to team up with World Foods to, at some of his events, offer a golden ticket, how would he do that, or what does it entail to be able to offer, or be able to the competitors play for their chance to leave with a golden ticket?
So basically, we define an agreement with anybody who's inquiring about golden tickets. One, they have to be able to fund the ticket on 2 sides, ideally, but at least a minimum of marketing licensing fee for the $1,000 required for a golden ticket. Secondly, we'd love for them to help pay the team's expenses to get there. So typically what an event does is find a sponsor for that avenue of their relationship with us. Secondly, we want to make sure that they're using some kind of sanctioning judging process that's legitimate, that it's adjudicated fairly. So if they were using some kind of sanctioning body we hadn't heard of, we would start looking into a lot of the details behind the scenes of how they determine their winners. But the Champions Alliance I'm very familiar with, and as long as he is sanctioned by them, we would look at that as an opportunity to provide a golden ticket. Now, it might not be for barbecue, because our partner in barbecue is Famous Dave's franchises, and they pretty much have secured all the golden tickets available for barbecue. We'll have 36 teams in the championship, with a few grandfathered in relationships that we started out with before the Famous Dave's relationship. But here again, if he were to run ancillary competitions in other categories, and let's say sandwich or seafood, or bacon. I think bacon is the one that we forgot earlier. then we could do a golden ticket on those fronts with him and make it an exclusive relationship in a particular territory of interest for him.
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah. He was like, ooh, you're always hearing, the golden ticket and the golden ticket. And it is a very cool process, especially, I'm most familiar with it through the SCA, and and especially the handing down process of it. That if the winner of that day already has their ticket,
Right.
it goes down to the second place.
Reserve.
If they have it, third, and so on, till it lands in the hand of someone who had not won their golden ticket for the year, which is a very cool way to do it.
Our first objective is to make sure that we have a field of champions. Second is to give as many teams as possible an opportunity to see the glitz and glam of the World Food Championships. I think we put on the best stage and audio-visual show of any event out there, and it's the numbers in and of themselves, to have anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 cooks in the kitchen running category after category after category, day after day after day, is an experience that I think anyone who's in culinary competition eventually needs to experience. They need to see it. It's often referred to as the Disneyland for cooks, for culinary champions, and we kind of like that, even though we don't want to pay the licensing fee to Disney for that. So, but also it's often referred to as kind of a March Madness, like March Madness.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's a great community. You're going to have major competition, no matter what category you're in. People used to ask the question, which is the easiest category to get into and compete well and finish well and get the money? And there isn't an easy one.
There isn't.
It's just it's chock full of past champions and dark horses that are coming out of the woodwork, trying to prove that they're great at one particular genre of food or the other.
Yep. And I think a lot of that has happened, at least obviously I always start with the barbecue side of it, but we have our one meat challenge, our competitions themselves, the one meat challenges, our jackpots. Like we have the dessert category, chicken wings, steak, chef's choice, that over the years of doing these ancillary competitions, you grow in your own culinary experience and knowledge themselves. So you do expand from, I just don't cook barbecue. I can cook one hell of a dessert or a chef's choice. I could play with a seafood, a surf and turf, or something along those lines, that it's constantly growing. Is Mark? I got so many messages here, but I think that has a lot to do with it, because everybody expands their culinary knowledge,
mm-hmm.
and everybody tunes it in and practices and pulls out all the stops. So, not like you said, none of them are the easiest.
The issue is you've got pro teams that are competing in a ton of ancillary competitions, and they're getting good at winning these side competitions in addition to the barbecue category. And then you've got the other two challenge or the other two contestants in our arena, which they're all really good and specialize in certain things. You have professional chefs who may have a breadth of knowledge, or they may be a pasta type person. And then you've got home cooks. And surprisingly, home cooks, if they may be a one-trick pony, they may be great at dessert, but they are just damn good at it,
Good.
right? And so we give all the teams an oven, a microwave, steel tables, knives, the basics. So it's almost like cooking at home. You just don't have all
Yeah.
of your comfort utensils that you do at home. You can bring all the spices and rubs and things that you shakes. I'll say that for Uncle Steve there. To the dance that you want to. So those three contestants, those three genres of talent, make it an amazing experience, but also a very challenging experience. And all of them are up in their game every year. We see it at other events. We see it on TV, and we see it at the championship every single year. Every year
Yeah.
it gets better and better as far as talent is concerned.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, jump to the famous Dave's. Now, teaming up with famous Dave, it's been 2 years now since this series has been going on.
This is the third season. Yeah, we've had
They're
two
coming up.
complete seasons. They started out with, I think, 14 or 15 events, and then they kind of pulled it back to 13, and then this year they're pulling it back to 10. And the reason they're pulling it back, and I think this is probably the shoreline or the bottom line, if you will, is they're finding locations that are really embracing and doing a great job of marketing the event to the community, and we're trying to just hone in on those pods of support, because it's a lot to put on a contest in a parking lot of an active restaurant, and do it in a way that really doesn't blow out your lunch or blow out your dinner. And we sandwich it right there in between, and by the time their dinner crowd starts coming in, the barbecue teams have cleaned up and pulled out. So right now we've got it's a well-oiled machine. They have 8 locations that they love doing this at, and then they have 2 that they're always kind of experimenting with. All right, we're going to bring it to you this time in Alabama, or we're going to bring it to you this time in Northern California, et cetera. And we do a little experimentation with the new one. So, but they've been a great partner. 3rd year running. Famous Dave Anderson is a champion of not only World Food Championships, but just food sport in general. He loves the creativity that he sees in our process, the silver platter process, where teams have to think outside of the box, both figuratively and literally, right? And he and I, whenever we get together, we're basically talking about the fact that the food is beautiful. Teams are making the food beautiful, and that's what you got to do as a restaurateur. So we're not bashful about it. There's a purpose behind it, and that series is a great testament to how you can merge these two concepts, just food service in general and culinary competitions as well.
Nice. And Daddy Dutch says his buddy qualified for the World Foods last year at Sioux City's famous Dave's.
I don't think we're going back there, but congratulations to him, and I hope he got to come to WFC and experience everything there too. We could talk till the cows come home about what the differences are between a famous Dave's contest and then what you see at WFC. But if we have time, we'll get into some of that.
Now you said originally you had partnered up with Caesars in Las Vegas. Now, how long were you? How long was it held in Las Vegas? And then I believe there was a year or so in, I want to say, New Orleans, and then a bunch of years in Dallas. Oh, there you go.
For the audience at home, I've got a 7-year-old here working on his Lego kit. I'm trying to multitask, so every now and then I may go to mute. But
that's fine.
Yeah, so we did 3 years in Las Vegas, and typically we've done 3-year jumps. We were in Orange Beach, Alabama, and then we went to Dallas. We were there a little bit longer. We COVID kind of jumped in our world when we made the leap over to Dallas, and that led us to a situation where we actually we missed a year, but we wanted to stay a little bit longer. And then we just recently moved it to Indianapolis. When we first started this thing, I kind of hoped it would be like the Super Bowl. We could move it every single year somewhere. It turns out that our contestants and our teams love that concept, but our accountants hate it because it's just way too expensive to pull up stakes and move our circus. We haven't got it down to like a fair or a circus where everything's on 3 18-wheelers and you just pull into town and you set it up. So I don't know when or if we'll ever get to that point, but right now we kind of look at us as a community and say, all right, can we set down roots here? And hopefully by year 3, we can make back the money we lost or invested in year 1. So that's the way it kind of works.
Now, like you said, you had that extended time in Dallas, and then last year you had moved to Indianapolis. How long was, I suppose, the process of getting ready to move to Indianapolis? Because like you were just stating, you can't just up and move it. You got to find the venue. You need to find the right venue, right size, infrastructure, hotels, transportation. And if I'm not mistaken, you actually set up in Indianapolis for the first time do I call it a viewing theater, if you will, for the public that could watch right into the kitchens itself and watch the chefs do their things?
So it wasn't the first time we've done that. We've been experimenting with that over the years. It just turned out that the facility in Indianapolis gave us the best playground for that. And it was obvious based on the platforms and the bleachers we were able to use. It felt almost like an arena should feel, and we're going to continue working on that in Indianapolis and see if we can't get it to a point where we think, all right, this is our show. This is the way it should be set up. Mm-hmm. But to your original question, how long did it take? As we were coming to the end of our Dallas contract, when we came to the point we could see the end of the Dallas contract. We used every piece of our Lego set.
Nice.
So we get like an A tonight.
Mike, right over here to my right, I have 2 totes full of Legos. So I know that every piece is done and perfect. Yes, I love it.
Give everybody a thumbs up, Tucker. Give everybody a thumbs up. Show them. Come on. Don't be bashful. Come here. Well, as he's working up his courage to show off, we spent a good year and a half analyzing, preparing for, working with new vendors for Indianapolis, so that we wouldn't miss a year after year folding of the championship. So we were in the second weekend of November in Dallas, and then we were in the second or third weekend of November in Indianapolis a year later. But we had spent months, and people on our team and people in Indianapolis had spent months kind of laying the groundwork and doing the pre-work necessary and introducing us to new partners that were going to replace old partners that didn't make sense to come from Dallas to Indianapolis. So it takes a long time. And we're ahead of curve now for the new event, which we have to be, because we're now moving it up into October. And the reason we're moving it into October so we can have more predictable weather long term, right?
Yeah.
We got really lucky in Indianapolis second weekend of November last year. It was cold at night every night, but still we got lucky. Could have been a lot worse. And so now we're going to be in October, and we believe we're going to be able to do a lot more block parties and a lot more outdoor programming as a result of that. So we're a little ahead of curve, but we have to be because we're moving it up in the season.
Yeah. Was the what's the word? Public's reaction, was it extremely positive from Indianapolis?
I think it was the most positive that we've had since Orange Beach, Alabama.
Okay.
Orange Beach, the entire city of Orange Beach and Gulf Shores came out to support World Food Championships, especially by year 3. Didn't hurt that we had Bo Jackson involved.
Yep.
People in Alabama really liked him, and a few other great legends down there. But it was a true community type event there. And in Dallas, Dallas is a great food city, but it's got a gazillion food things going on. So it's kind of hit or miss to be able to get a massive crowd or to get a very loyal crowd there when you're just doing an event once a year. So we didn't know what to expect in Indianapolis other than we thought it's a good culinary town. It's kind of a small, big town, right?
Yeah.
A small, big town. And boy, the outpouring was great. We had over 15,000 people come out for the very first time. And we were kind of panicking a few moments on Saturday, our best day, just because the lines were starting to get so much longer than what we had anticipated. So we think it's got a bright future. We think that this year it'll be even bigger. Word has traveled. People in Indianapolis kind of know what food sport is now. And that's always one of the first humps or first hurdles we have to get over is, what is food sport? Is that an eating competition or are they throwing food at each other? What's going on with that thing? And in many cases, it's all the above. But our brand of culinary competition and entertainment is really still kind of new. It's food TV with no reruns, right? No redos. It's like being on the set of a TV show, but there is no second chances. And we try to make it feel that way, try to make it special for the contestants and also for the consumers. So we think we made a lot of fans in Indianapolis, and we think that this year is going to be even bigger. I want to jump back to something you said earlier about New Orleans. We never did our championship in New Orleans, but we did a final table in New Orleans. In our last year in Orange Beach, we separated our main event into 2 events. We have the main event where you qualify to become the champion of your category. And then we took the final table, that $100,000 challenge, which is now a $150,000 challenge. And we moved it 3 or 4 months later so that we could move it around everywhere in the country and have a San Francisco challenge or a New York City challenge or a New Orleans challenge. And New Orleans was the first city that we went to and programmed every one of the final challenges around Cajun cuisine. So that's why you probably thought we were in New Orleans. We were there for a final table.
I knew it was there somewhere.
I didn't want you to think later on, why did I ask him New Orleans? So
yeah, I knew somewhere along the line. So okay, there was a final table event. Okay, perfect. Now the event itself, it's a ticketed event, right, for the public?
Yes, we have both private and public aspects to the event. But right now we have a GA ticket that's, I think this year is going to be good for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we have VIP tickets that you can purchase. This year we gave birth to Taste of WFC, which we brought back about 20 previous champions, and they served their winning dish in small bites. And it was an amazing experience. We'll be doing that again. We had what's called grand tastings, where we had just 8 people at a table, like a chef's table, listening to the story of a previous champion and letting them weave their culinary journey into food right in front of them. And it's a very high-end, exclusive touch point experience for people who are either important to us or had spent a lot of money to have that experience. So all kinds of different new wrinkles that we've been working with and odds and ends that we were able to gel into one big, massive inaugural party in Indianapolis. And we're very pleased with how it worked out.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I can just imagine, we and everybody watching and listening, they'd be in the glory over that, and I'm actually speaking beginning of June with Michelle O'Ginn.
Oh, Gwen. Yeah.
Gwen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
she's going to be a lot of fun for you. She's what I refer to loosely as a hoot. So have a good time.
Oh,
she's a great, and she's going to be a great champion. She won our live fire event, and we haven't announced this yet, but we've got an event, a new live fire event partner who in late June is going to throw a nice live fire experience. And she hopefully, I was supposed to call her today. Thanks for the reminder. Hopefully she'll be one of our featured talented teams as a part of that event.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So obviously Indianapolis was the first year. We're going into the second year. Looking forward to it. Now, what is, I suppose, the calendar-ish time frames to qualify for this year being 2025?
You have to be registered by August 1st.
August 1st.
And I'm not so certain that we won't be closing all the categories before then. I think we've already closed 4, and I was on a staff call today where 2, maybe 3 others are starting to ping in the red line. And I just think it's probably going to fill up in the next 45, 60 days.
Oh, unbelievable. That's awesome. That's incredible.
I wish it was like a concert. I wish we could fill it up in like 2 hours.
Right?
It doesn't take 6 months to do it, but we're very fortunate to be able to get to the basically it's about 250 teams now and it's real comfortable for us at that number because we can just be more agile and we can do more things during the tournament. We used to have, believe it or not, I think it was our third year, we were able to do up to 50 teams per category. And the one time that we got to about 500 teams, we were pulling our hair out. Evidence. We were pulling our hair out over things that just didn't pay the bills or keep the lights on. And we pulled back to 40 and we thought, okay, well, that felt better. And then at one point we pulled back to 30 and said, man, that feels pretty good. And then we pulled back to 20 and said, this is our operational sweet spot. So that's why it's filling up quicker. We have less opportunities, but it's a higher caliber of a position. Yeah. And you going into the championship, you just got to beat 19 other teams out for your category to get into the finals. So we may, down the road as we spread our wings in Indianapolis and get more sponsor success and more consumer desire, we may open that back up. We may try to get to 25 or 30 teams again because demand may push us in that direction. But right now, operationally, we're in a good spot, and we hate to say we're full, but it's like a restaurant owner, right? if all the reservations are sold, it's kind of hard to complain about that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good problem to have, they say.
High class problems, right?
That's right. But Mike, I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time. Thank you for the whole rundown about the history and everything that's going on. I won't keep you any longer. You're on the road, back doing what you're doing to bring food sport to the masses. So first and foremost, thank you so much for everything you do for all of us in food sport.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for seeing the vision.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and happy to do it anytime. Glad we're able to finally connect and get this information out there to everyone. And for anyone who hasn't been there, take my word, you got to experience this at some point. So put it on your calendar, October 16th through the 19th this year.
Okay.
We'd love to see you there.
Absolutely, absolutely. But Mike, thank you so much. Where can everybody find World Foods on email, social media, all that wonderful stuff?
Pretty simple. World Food Championships, plural, worldfoodchampionships.com. And I think we use the same on Facebook and on Instagram. So find us, send us a message. We've got a lot of people who try to keep everybody updated as much as possible. We're not perfect, but we're very passionate about this. So we'll get you an answer at some point.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Mike, thank you so much for your time.
You're
Keep
welcome.
up the incredible work, and if there's anything I can do, just let me know, brother. I'm always willing to help.
Sounds great, buddy. You keep everyone informed. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Go enjoy your family, brother.
Thank you.
But folks, that's it. What incredible gentleman, incredible organization for everything that we do food-wise. The World Foods. Yeah. So at least we know now how we can work in a golden ticket. Famous Dave kind of has the market cornered on the barbecue end, but those jackpots and ancillaries might be able to work some stuff out. Oh, excuse me. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate yous. Next week, I am being joined by Jerry McPherson of the Texas Beef Council. We're going to learn everything Texas Beef Council, what they do, their organization. And I'm actually bringing in a bit of a ringer for that one. They had Texas Beef Council put out a small competition last year of the beef-loving Texan. And if any of y'all know, and a lot of you do know, the winner of that competition, I'm bringing in the beef-loving Texan himself, Chef Johnny, to join me as a co-host, because in this one, he knows more of the experience with the council and can probably come up with a lot of better questions than I can, for that matter. But yes, Jerry McPherson from the Texas Beef Council and Chef Johnny will be joining me next week, which we're talking, I'll guarantee we're talking some beef. So that's always got to be good. But thank you all for tuning in. Catch the audio on all the audio platforms, video, Facebook, YouTube. And everybody, whether you're watching or listening, if y'all can go over to YouTube and subscribe to the Pit Life Barbecue podcast page, all the videos are there under the live tab, because Facebook is doing this wonderful thing of 30 days. So pretty much the show history is being deleted by the day. So if you ever want to go back and watch previous episodes, they're all there. On the YouTube side. So go over there, subscribe. Everything's right there at your fingertips. I don't get these technology guys, but hey, I'm a low-tech man in a high-tech world. I'm barely figuring this shit out my own. But thank you all. Any questions or comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. Like, rate, review, subscribe, share, get the word out. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.